Most people over 70 are told the same thing. Eat less, because your appetite is smaller now and your body needs less food. It sounds sensible. It sounds safe. But here is what nobody tells you. Eating less, especially less protein, does not protect your independence. It quietly takes it away. The truth is that your body after 70 needs more protein than it did at 50, not less. And almost no one over 70 is getting enough. Here is the observation that geriatric clinics see every single day. Older adults who eat the same protein as a younger person still lose muscle faster. Their bodies have become resistant to protein, so the same plate does less. This is not a rare condition. It is the normal aging pattern, and it is happening to most people watching this right now. Today I am going to show you 5 signs that your body is quietly asking for more protein, and I will show you the one insight that a 12-minute appointment almost never has time to cover. The number 1 sign on this list is something almost nobody talks about, and most people mistake it for something completely harmless. Stay with me until the end, because that one sign can change how you approach the next 10 years of your life. Let me tell you why your doctor probably has not walked you through this. A standard appointment is about 12 minutes long. In those 12 minutes, your doctor has to review your medications, check your blood pressure, look at any new complaints, and update your chart. There is simply no time left to talk about how many grams of protein you ate at breakfast. Prevention takes time to explain, and time is the one thing that visit does not have. So the conversation defaults to the easy version. Keep walking, eat healthy, slow down. None of that is wrong. It is just not enough. I want to be clear about something before we go further. I am not here to sell you a supplement or scare you into a course. This channel exists to give you the science a 12-minute appointment never has time to cover. No product, no fear, no miracle. Just what the research actually shows and what you can safely do at home. That is the whole promise of this channel. And the stakes here are not small. This is not about looking a certain way. Muscle is the tissue that lets you stand up from a chair without pushing off with your arms. It is what catches you when you stumble instead of letting you fall. It is what lets you carry your own groceries and stay in your own home. When protein drops, muscle drops, and independence goes with it. So think about your own age and where you live, and put a number in the comments. If you are over 70 in the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, or Australia, I especially want to hear from you, because this affects you more than anyone. Now here is the one mechanism behind everything on this list. It is called anabolic resistance, and I need you to understand it, because every sign we discuss comes back to it. Think of your muscle like a bank account. Every day you make deposits when you eat protein, and every day your body makes withdrawals as it breaks down and rebuilds tissue. When you were younger, a small deposit still landed in the account. After 70, the bank starts charging a fee on every deposit. The same protein goes in, but less of it actually reaches the muscle. That fee is anabolic resistance. To end the day even, you now have to deposit more than you used to, just to break even. Deposit too little, and every single day you finish slightly overdrawn, pulling from the muscle you already have. Please do not skip this section. It is the key to everything that follows. Every sign on this list is really just your account running low, showing up in a different part of your body. If this is already making sense to you, tap the like button so more seniors can find it. Sign number 5 is fatigue that rest does not fix. I do not mean the tiredness that a good night of sleep clears. I mean waking up already drained, feeling worn out by early afternoon, and never quite recovering no matter how much you rest. Here is why this points to protein. Your muscles are not just for movement. They are also your body's largest reservoir of amino acids, the raw material your body pulls from to keep your immune system, your organs, and your energy systems running. When your protein intake is too low, your body starts stripping those amino acids out of muscle to keep everything else alive. Remember the bank account. This is your body making an emergency withdrawal just to pay the daily bills. That constant draining is felt as a deep, flat fatigue that sleep cannot touch, because the problem was never sleep. Large clinical studies on aging have consistently linked low protein intake with lower energy, weaker grip, and slower recovery. This is one of the most repeated findings in the whole field of geriatric nutrition. So here is what to do about it. Aim for 25 to 30 grams of protein at breakfast, and do it within about an hour of waking up. Most older adults eat almost no protein in the morning, then a little at lunch, then a large amount at dinner. That pattern is the problem. Your body can only use so much protein in one sitting, so a huge dinner mostly goes to waste while your morning runs on empty. Spread it evenly across 3 meals, 25 to 30 grams each. The most common mistake is thinking toast and jam is a real breakfast. It is not, because it is almost pure carbohydrate with no protein at all. Now let us make this safe and simple. If preparing a big breakfast is hard on your hands or your energy, keep it easy. 3 eggs is about 20 grams. A cup of plain Greek yogurt is about 20 grams. A scoop of protein powder in milk gets you there with almost no effort. If you have kidney disease or take medication for your kidneys, talk to your doctor before raising your protein, because your safe amount may be different. That is the one-stop condition here. Raise protein freely, unless a doctor has told you to limit it. Pair your morning protein with a short walk in daylight, even 5 minutes. The daylight helps set your energy rhythm for the day, and the protein gives your muscles the raw material, so the two together do far more than either alone. But fixing your energy will not help you if your body cannot actually rebuild the muscle it is losing. Fatigue is the fuel gauge. The next sign is about the engine itself, and it shows up somewhere most people never think to look. Sign number 4 is losing strength in your hands and your grip. Watch for jars you used to open easily, a handshake that feels weaker, or bags that suddenly feel heavier than they should. Grip strength matters far more than people realize. Your hands are often where muscle loss shows up first, because you use them constantly and notice small changes quickly. Think of grip strength as the warning light on your dashboard. It is not the most important muscle in your body, but it is the gauge that tells you what is happening everywhere else. When the hands weaken, it usually means the larger muscles in your legs and core are quietly weakening too. The dashboard light is small, but it is reporting on the whole engine. Researchers who study aging use grip strength as one of their most reliable single measures of overall health and future independence. It is one of the most established markers in the entire field. Here is your protocol. Once a day, practice a firm squeeze. You can buy a soft grip ball for a few dollars, or simply use a rolled-up hand towel. Squeeze firmly for 5 seconds, then release for 5 seconds, and repeat that 10 times on each hand. Do it once in the morning and once at night. Build slowly. If 10 is too many, start with 5 and add 1 squeeze each week. The mistake people make is squeezing hard once and quitting. Strength comes from the daily repetition, not the single effort. To keep this safe, never squeeze to the point of sharp pain. A working muscle feels tired and a little warm. Sharp pain means stop, not push through. If you have arthritis in your hands, use a softer object and a gentler squeeze, and rest your hand on the arm of a chair or a table so you are fully supported while you train. Pair every squeeze session with your protein meals. The training tells the muscle it is needed, and the protein gives it what to build with, because a signal with no raw material rebuilds nothing. Strong hands are a wonderful sign, but they cannot protect you from the fall itself. The next sign is the one that decides whether a stumble becomes a story you tell or a night in the hospital. Sign number 3 is poor balance and a fear of falling. Maybe you reach for the wall on the stairs now. Maybe you feel unsteady rising from a chair, or you have started avoiding the shower without something to hold. That growing caution is a sign. Balance is not a magic sense you either have or lose. Balance is muscle. The small, quick muscles in your legs, ankles, and hips are what make tiny corrections every second to keep you upright. When protein runs low and those muscles shrink, your corrections get slower and weaker. Picture a sailboat with a crew that keeps it steady against the wind. When the crew is well fed, they adjust the sails instantly and the boat stays level. Starve the crew, and every gust tips the boat a little further before anyone can respond. Your balance muscles are that crew, and protein is how you feed them. Fall prevention research consistently shows that building leg and core strength reduces the risk of falling. This is one of the clearest, most repeated findings in all of geriatric medicine. So here is the protocol. Practice standing up from a chair without using your hands. Sit tall, lean slightly forward, and push up through your legs. Do this 5 times in a row, and repeat it 3 times across the day. That is 15 sit-to-stands daily. Add 1 repetition each week as it gets easier. This single movement trains the exact muscles you use to get off the toilet, out of the car, and up from the couch. The mistake people make is avoiding the movement because it feels hard. The hardness is the point. Avoiding it is what makes it harder next month. Let us make this fall safe. Always do this with a sturdy chair against a wall so it cannot slide, and with a countertop or a heavy table within arm's reach in case you feel unsteady. If standing without hands is too much at first, use 1 hand and work toward none. Sharp pain in a knee or hip means stop, not push through. Never train balance near a hard edge or on a slippery floor. Pair these sit-to-stands with your afternoon protein meal. Do them about an hour after you eat, when the amino acids are in your blood, so the muscle has fuel available exactly when you are asking it to work. But even perfect balance rests on something underneath it. If the frame holding you up is weakening, balance alone cannot save you. The next sign is about that frame, and it hides in plain sight for years. Sign number 2 is aches, stiffness, and joints that feel unstable. Knees that give a little, hips that ache after sitting, a back that feels unsupported. Most people blame this entirely on their joints. Often the real problem is the muscle around the joint. Here is the mechanism. Your joints are not meant to carry your weight alone. The muscles around them act like guy wires on a tent pole, sharing the load and holding everything in alignment. When protein loss weakens those muscles, the guy wires go slack, and suddenly the full load lands directly on the joint. That is when the aching and the feeling of instability begin. The joint is not always the villain. Very often it is the unsupported muscle around it crying out. Research on osteoarthritis consistently shows that strengthening the muscles around a joint reduces pain and improves function. This is well established across many clinical trials. Here is your protocol. Sit in a chair and slowly straighten one leg until it is level with the floor. Hold for 3 seconds, then lower it slowly. Do 10 on each leg, once in the morning and once in the evening. Slow and controlled beats fast and jerky every time. Add 1 repetition per leg each week. This gently strengthens the muscles that support your knees without ever loading the joint itself. The mistake people make is resting the aching joint completely, which only lets the supporting muscle waste away faster. To keep it safe, move only through a range that feels comfortable, never forcing the knee to lock hard at the top. Sit fully back in the chair so your back is supported the whole time. A mild working ache is fine. Sharp or stabbing pain means stop, not push through. If you take medication for arthritis or pain, keep taking it as prescribed and talk to your doctor before changing anything. Pair this leg work with a protein-rich snack afterward, something like Greek yogurt or a boiled egg, so the muscle you just worked has the material to rebuild stronger. Now we arrive at the number 1 sign. This is the one almost nobody talks about, the one most people mistake for something completely harmless, and the one that quietly predicts the next 10 years more than any other. Stay with me, because this is the whole reason I made this video. Sign number 1 is unintentional weight loss that feels like good news. The number on the scale drifts down without you trying. Your clothes fit looser, and almost everyone treats this as a win, a reward, something to be pleased about. That is exactly why it is so dangerous. Here is what is really happening, and I need you to follow this closely. After 70, when you lose weight without trying, a large share of what you are losing is not fat. It is muscle. Your body, running low on protein and low on reason to keep expensive muscle tissue, quietly lets it go. Come back to the bank account one more time. This is not you spending from a healthy balance. This is the bank closing accounts to cover your debts. The scale says you have less and you feel lighter, so it feels like progress. But the weight leaving your body is the very tissue that keeps you standing, catches you when you fall, and lets you live in your own home. You are not winning. You are being quietly emptied out, 1 pound of muscle at a time, while a bathroom scale congratulates you for it. That is why this sign is the crown. It is the only one that disguises danger as good news. The medical name for this muscle loss is sarcopenia, and researchers who study aging consider it one of the strongest predictors of whether an older adult keeps their independence or loses it. Major geriatric institutions now screen for it directly. It is that important. So here is your full protocol, and this is the deepest one on the list. First, stop trusting the scale alone. A scale cannot tell muscle from fat, so a falling number tells you nothing good on its own. Instead, track something that actually reflects muscle. Once a month, measure the distance around the widest part of your calf with a simple tape measure and write it down. A shrinking calf is a red flag worth showing your doctor. Second, anchor your protein at 25 to 30 grams per meal, 3 times a day, every day. That consistency is what reverses the pattern. Third, add resistance to your week. 2 or 3 times a week. Do the sit to stands and the leg raises we already covered, plus a wall push-up. Stand an arm's length from a wall, place your hands flat on it, and slowly lower your chest toward the wall and press back. Do 10. Fourth, weigh yourself no more than once a week at the same time of day, so a single odd number never fools you. The single biggest mistake here is celebrating the loss and eating even less, which pours fuel on the exact fire you are trying to put out. Now let us make every piece of this safe. For the wall push-up, stand on a non-slip floor and keep your feet firmly planted, so there is no chance of sliding. Keep a counter or a sturdy chair beside you for the sit-to-stands. Never hold your breath during any of these movements. Breathe out as you push, in as you lower. If you feel dizzy, sit down immediately and rest. Sharp pain anywhere means stop, not push through. And if you have heart disease, high blood pressure, or take medication for either, talk to your doctor before starting any new resistance routine, because your safe starting point may be gentler. Pair this whole protocol with one simple habit. Put your protein and your movement on the same clock. Do your resistance work, then eat a protein-rich meal within about an hour, because the muscle is most ready to rebuild in that window. Movement is the request, and protein is the delivery, and the two together are what actually rebuild the tissue that keeps you independent. So here is the payoff I promised you at the very beginning. That falling number on the scale, the one almost everyone celebrates, is often the earliest warning that your independence is slipping. When you learn to read it correctly, you catch the loss years before it takes your balance, your strength, or your ability to live on your own. That is the insight a 12-minute appointment almost never has time to give you. Balance is not luck. Strength is not genetics. Independence is built, one meal and one movement at a time. Consider a typical case documented in the rehabilitation literature. A 74-year-old woman came in worried about tiredness and a few small falls. She was quietly pleased that she had lost about 8 pounds over the past year without trying. She ate toast for breakfast, a light lunch, and a normal dinner. She had started holding the wall on her stairs and avoiding the bath. On paper, she looked fine, and her weight was even called healthy. A closer look told the real story. Almost all of that weight loss had come from muscle, not fat. Her care team made 3 simple changes. They moved her to 25 to 30 grams of protein at every meal, starting with eggs or yogurt at breakfast. They had her do chair sit-to-stands and wall push-ups a few times a week. And they told her to stop watching the scale and start watching her strength. Within about 12 weeks, the changes were plain. She was climbing her stairs without reaching for the wall. Her afternoon energy had come back. She was getting out of a chair without pushing off with her arms. Her weight barely moved on the scale, but the tissue underneath had started to rebuild. She had traded fragile pounds for functional ones. So let me give you your action plan. Keep it simple and start today. Step 1. Tonight, eat one clearly protein-rich food at dinner, at least 25 grams, whether that is fish, chicken, eggs, or Greek yogurt. Step 2. Tomorrow morning, build a breakfast with at least 20 grams of protein instead of just toast or cereal. Step 3. This week, do 5 chair sit-to-stands, 3 times a day, near a wall for safety. Step 4. Once this month, measure around the widest part of your calf and write the number down so you can track it. Step 5. At your next appointment, ask your doctor one question. Is my weight loss coming from fat or from muscle? Now think of someone in your life who has been quietly losing weight and calling it a good thing. A parent, a friend, a neighbor. Share this video with them, because that one conversation could protect their independence for years. Tell me in the comments which of these 5 signs you are starting with tonight. Your answers decide exactly what I cover next. And if you want more of the science that a rushed appointment never has time for, subscribe to this channel, because that is the whole reason it exists. One important note. This video is education, not a diagnosis. Your own doctor knows your history, so bring this list to your next appointment. I'm Nathan Reeves. Don't forget to subscribe and live longer.